Welcome to the Sovereign Leader podcast, everyone. I'm your host, Jen Thomas, and I'm here with my amazing co-host, Joy Schultz. This is the podcast for high achieving spiritual women who are done performing, done shrinking, and ready to lead from their own center with anchored and embodied authority. Together, through our raw and very real, grounded conversation, we intend to share what it truly means to lead yourself from sovereignty, especially when you've spent years managing everyone else's energy in order to feel safe. And safety is going to be a key topic today, I think, because today we are talking about money. We are talking all about money, the spiritual entrepreneur, the highly sensitive business owner, the empathic paid worker, and our journey and our relationship with money, and why some spiritual entrepreneurs, business owners, people in work are super successful and some are not, and the gap in between. So it's going to be a juicy one today. And of course, we're going to start with our own stories, our own personal truths, because, my situation is unique to me. Joy's situation is unique to her. But of course, whatever we both share, I'm sure will resonate with everybody. So, Joy, darling, do you want to start by sharing some of your personal truths?
Sure. So, money for me has always been a very sticky situation. I grew up in the fundamental Christian church, so money was evil. If you had money, it was meant to only be used in service of God and the church. And yet there was this dichotomy of these big mega churches, having all of this money and all of this wealth and so it was evil, but it was good if it was used right. And like there was this weird dichotomy and I could never figure it out. And then I grew up in a single mom household where my father was not supportive at all. And so for many years, we survived off of free food that we would get from the church. And sometimes it would be half spoiled. And so I just grew up in this lack and never having enough, never knowing if I was going to have a next meal, never being able to go do things with friends because they were the rich friends and I was the poor one. And so money has always felt like it just never was enough. Like there was never a piece of the pie for me, as opposed to now I understand that there's plenty for everyone and that money is energy. But then I thought it was very much a limited resource that you had to be lucky to be able to have. Um, and so then that fed into my work as a coach. As I started to build my business, I was giving away sessions for free. I was charging pennies for intense one-to-one, always available work with these clients. And my clients were getting great results, but I also wasn't getting new clients. And I was just always in this struggle and hardly ever able to make ends meet. And if I did, it was just barely. And so I was definitely overgiving. And at the same time, if somebody wanted to pay me a little bit more, I'd push it away. Like, are you sure? Like, am I worthy of this? Like, my worth was so totally connected to my money situation. And so I thought, well, if my bank account's not large, then I'm not worthy. And I
Mm,
had this external validation and externalizing my safety. And of
mm,
course, then there was the comparison. Well, I'm doing all of these same things that this quote successful person or looks successful is doing. Why is this not happening for me? So I tried all the manifestation stuff. I tried all of the various strategies. I've spent thousands upon thousands of dollars working with various different coaches. Like, oh, follow this strategy. It's worked for me. Follow this strategy. You'll get $10,000 in 3 months. And, all of
mm,
the all of those things, right? Those promises because it may have worked for them, but I'm different. My energy is different. The way I work is different, all of those things.
mhm,
And so I would be in comparison, I'd be in jealousy. Well, you know, there's a person in the human design world who we started and found human design at the same time. She's now making six figures and I'm not. So then there was this comparison and my
Mm,
worth and all of these patterns of judgment and money and visibility. And it was just all so hard.
yeah.
And I and it wasn't until I finally made the shift to understanding that money is energy, that my safety and my worth are not tied to my bank account. And I began to do shadow work with money and began to approach it as a relationship. A friend of mine helped me with money Reiki. I did money Reiki 1 and 2 with her. And that just opened up so much healing and to understand that money is just an energy. It's source energy. It's just been tainted by all the ways that it's been misused,
Mm,
right? And so being able to finally see that, I was like, oh, okay, I can receive that in because it's source energy. It's
mm,
not this tangible, dirty money thing. And having that understanding shifted so much for me. And so then also in that time frame, I began shifting my worth away from the money. And so then it was just like, oh, I'm already doing this thing and you see me and you want to pay me more? Great. And also, I raised all my prices in my business.
mm,
And so then it was now I'm getting well paid for the work that I'm doing. I feel more resourced. I feel more excited to serve my clients. They feel more attached and in tune with what we're doing, like more skin in the game, so to speak.
mm,
And the work that we're able to do is so much deeper. And
mm,
if you had, I mean, I've had people tell me this over and over and over again over the past few years that I just thought they were bonkers,
mm,
but it's so
mm.
true. And
Yeah.
so it was really detaching from those old programmings that told me money was bad and that I was bad and that, my worth was tied to money.
Mm,
And now
yeah.
it's not.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. I resonate with so much of that. I think, yeah, when I had the realization that it didn't matter if and I had this really clear visual, didn't matter if I was stood in the street wearing a potato sack and no shoes on my feet, or whether I was in a ballroom, in my royal regalia and tiara, or tara, as it's known in our family, um, that my worth was the same, whatever.
Yes.
And it was such a strong visual for me, it really landed. And like you, I really detached measuring my worth uh, by whatever was or was not in my bank account. So yeah, I too shared the certainly in the beginning of my business. Oh my God, I did so much for free, so much for free, and would and it wasn't just I'm a giving, generous person. It was a marketing strategy for me. So the big supermarkets call it like a loss leader, right?
Yes.
So it was a marketing strategy. But what I recognized was, well, when you're a big commercial brand with long term standing, you can afford to be in a loss leading position because you've got the backup. When you're first starting out and you don't have the financial backup, going for a loss leader strategy, I learned quickly didn't work for me. And that affected my self-esteem because I made it mean something. I
Yes.
made the people that weren't showing up even for the free stuff, or the people that were consistently showing up for the free stuff but would never then buy, I made it mean something about me. And I my core limiting belief for years around that was that I wasn't good enough.
Hmm.
And so that was the measurement that I had, and it was being therefore reflected in my bank account.
Yes.
So this detachment piece, I think, is fundamental,
Yes.
fundamental. And for anybody listening that doesn't, whilst you like, if they're like me, so I intellectually understood that money was energy, but emotionally, I was like, meh. I couldn't align with that. I couldn't, it felt intangible, completely intangible in every way. Um, and so what I recognized through a piece of guidance I received actually during one of my meditation journeys was to view money like a river. And everything just completely changed for me then because this, to your point, this piece, and it must be ingrained in us somewhere through the conditioning and societal beliefs that if I was taking from the pie, then that meant somebody else couldn't have a piece of the pie. And
Yes.
you know, just couldn't breathe at the thought of it. And so with the river metaphor and the vision that I was shown was like, well, you can take as many buckets of water from the river as you like. It doesn't have any impact on somebody further down the river. The water is flowing, like it's constant, it's constantly flowing. And yes, of course, our ego would love to come in and go, what if there's a drought though? What if then it's not flowing, right? So we just
Of course.
we take that aside and go, okay, like there is an infinite supply, we're okay. Um, and so then it became a much more fluid conversation, much more fluid conversation. And much like you, then I stopped undercharging, overgiving, and allowing myself to receive. But then something else happened. And I created, and I recognize on a soul level why I did it now, but I created a financial trauma so that I could really learn about this. And I know this will resonate with you, as you've mentioned, and with everybody else listening. I invested thousands in a coach, a money mindset coach, and it put me in debt. The irony. Right. So, and it made right, and it made me really nervous about investing. And I developed a subconscious story and pattern as a result to the point where I stopped investing, not just financially, not just financially. I stopped investing in myself and started punishing myself. So the self-sabotage started to come in because I think, I too had experienced the conditioning of money is bad and makes you bad. And, we all know money doesn't make you happy. No, of course it doesn't make you happy, but it does give you choice and it does remove worry.
Yes.
So then I realized, okay, I've got a trauma going on here. I need to find a reframe. I need to alchemize this. And so I had a conversation with my money energy, my view of the river, if you like. And I had a conversation and it came back to safety. It was the piece, the energy in me that is the archetype of money that said, it doesn't feel safe to receive the money because I'm going to incorrectly spend it.
I had that one too.
So I would either block receiving it altogether or I'd receive it and spend it straight away.
Yes, I definitely had that pattern too.
Right, right. So yeah, let us know in the comments or reply to us, whatever, however you're receiving this podcast. Let us know what your money stories are, because we've been there, and I think it's really important to surface them and talk about them with love and compassion.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that river visual. I can see how that was so helpful for you. For me, the visual was viewing it as a relationship. So if that, super unconditional, loving partnership, would they want to take me out on a date if I'm pushing back? If I'm not able to receive that date, they're not going to want to take me. So why? Am I blocking myself because I am not able to receive or it feels super uncomfortable to receive? And so
Mm.
then I started leaning into the edge of, okay, what does it feel like to receive? So somebody offered me a little extra and I just said thank you. And then I felt, okay, what did that feel like in my body? And at first it was like, super uncomfortable. Like, what do you mean? But now after a few months of practicing that, I'm just like, thank you. And it just feels good.
Yeah, thank you. Full stop, the end, or period, as you say. And then you're,
Yes.
yeah, right. So something linked to that that just came in for me then was, um, and I think so many of us have this because of our Western culture, where particularly for the last few centuries, that, and it's only relatively recently that it's changed, is that money was held by the men and the masculine energy, right? So if I look at my own personal story, my father left the marital home when I was just a baby, and remarried, had a second family, which is super common. And as an adult, I completely get it now. The financial pressures on him were huge, but they were for my mum. She was now a single mum looking after babies, so couldn't go out and earn money. So then I developed this story of, well, the money is held by the father. You see where I'm going with this.
Yes.
And so um, when we, and so many of us women have been through, other masculine traumas. Um, in all sorts of different shapes and forms. And so the wounding continues. It's just, evidenced time and time and time again, to the point where the trust is removed,
Yeah.
or so deeply buried. It's, like, I'm sure it was here. I'm sure I had it here somewhere once upon a time. It's in here
Right.
somewhere. And so, and I've noticed this in myself and my clients and my peers as well, that over the last few months, especially, that there has been this shift and reframe and different perspective on the divine masculine, and allowing ourselves to be held once more
Yes.
in a way that is protective but not suppressive or trapping or suffocating. And that, I think, the relationship between that and the centuries of masculine energy only out of balance, with money, is a really interesting concept, I think.
Yes, I agree. And it's allowing us to be more in our feminine to receive
Right.
that love that, and so it's a balancing within ourselves, and then as that ripples out to the collective of that giving and receiving, sharing and receiving. I like that better. Sharing and receiving.
Yeah, yeah. I remember my guides many years ago saying to me, just change, you've got this phrase in your culture that is give and take. And I'm like, just change it to give and receive. And my
Yeah.
whole body in that moment, I was walking through the forest at the time, my whole body, I went through this, release and receiving. I was like,
Yes.
oh, that's so powerful.
Yes. Because when you think about the energy of taking, it's very greedy, it's very selfish, or at least that's the connotations that we've put on it. So
Right.
if we can just share that or change that to share
Mm,
and receive versus give and take.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And you can just feel it in your body. Like when I came across that recently, I was just like, oh my gosh, it was just like my whole body just opened up more.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And yeah, as soon as we're open, we know exactly what starts to happen.
Yes.
So, so I want to look at I want to look at this almost kind of dichotomy of it's not that you don't want more money or intellectually believe we're not deserving of more money, but that there is this part of us that is saying somewhere it's not safe. It's not safe for me to receive. And interestingly, it came up with a client just this morning. Actually, it came up in during a cord cutting session with me, and we ended up doing a past life journey within that. And it came up. It's not safe for me to receive. It either gets taken or I am persecuted in some way for it. I had a past life. I'd forgotten about this actually. I had a past life journey just before Christmas where I saw a member of my family now, today, in a past life with me. We were in ancient Greece, and that person seduced me because I was super wealthy, super wealthy, and this person seduced me, and I believe they were younger than me, and I believed that they truly loved me and adored me, and that it was nothing to do with my money. And then fast forward to a vision of said person slitting my throat and taking all my money. So it's kind of a laugh and a joke, but that echo, that memory can sit in the energy body and start to, influence what's happening on a soul level in the here now today.
Yes. Wow. That was intense.
Yeah. Well, I know, yeah.
Yeah.
You visualize what I visualize, yeah.
Um, yeah, that was intense. And for me, I had a past life where I took a vow of servanthood because it wasn't safe to receive. And that was I had several lifetimes where I was either literally a servant or whether I had a little bit of money, but it was taken from me. Um, or like I even had a past life where I was a queen, and then the very next life I had nothing, and feeling that dichotomy and feeling that lack and trying to hoard things because I had that energy in the life previous to that. And I was like, but I'm used to having all of these things. I'm used to having this abundance, and now I have nothing. And
Yeah,
the pain of that.
yeah.
So yeah, I definitely agree that our past lives definitely impact our current ones, and those agreements that we've made, they're coming up now through our past life journeys and into our awarenesses so that we can heal them.
Hmm.
Because now's the time when we actually get to resolve those.
Hmm.
Um, but definitely not feeling safe to receive has been a big pattern for me, for sure.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, everything from food to touch to experiences, because often those cost money. And
Hmm.
so feeling that safety to receive and knowing that I can hold it once I do receive it, that
Yeah,
it's that I am safe for money to be here with me.
yeah.
Um, and so I started seeing my bank account or my wallet as this soft place for the money to land. And also viewing my money as just being circulated as opposed to me losing my money. That was a reframe that definitely helped. But for one of the big things I think that helped me view it as that soft place to land was that I also run things through my inner authority, which for me, as part of my human design, is my emotions. So, like, okay, there's this thing that I really want. Let me ride the high wave of it. Let me question whether or not I actually want it. And then I come to this level of clarity of like, oh, okay, yes, I actually want that thing or I want that experience. So that's where I'm going to spend my money or circulate my money.
Mm.
Um, but I've really just given it that safe place to land, has been something that was very helpful for me. And then just rooting into the earth every time I felt a little wobbly or a little uncomfortable. It's like, whew, take a deep breath and ground myself and be like, okay, And I'm getting chills as I say this, but it's just like, yes, it's okay. It's safe to receive. And I just had that mantra of it's safe, it's safe, it's safe. And over time, that rewired my brain and my nervous system to be like, yeah, whew, it is safe. It
Yeah,
does have a safe place to land.
yeah,
I am safe.
yeah. And it's so interesting, isn't it, that so many of us talk about financial security makes us feel safe, right? And yet we've had this internal conflict going on that ensures something else. But again, this comes back to self-worth. I learned through, the first few years in my business of giving away too much and not valuing the level of transformation I was facilitating for people. And it just I've just completely lost my train of thought. This happens, doesn't it? I would
It
love to
does.
know. I would love to know the rest of that sentence as well.
Maybe it will come back around.
I'll come back. I think it's because this is the, neurodiversity happening on. I've got like three different things coming in at the same time.
Yes.
Uh, that's good to share it with everyone. I hope that's given you permission to feel the same if you're listening to this. Okay, it'll come back. It'll come back. Um, yes, this safety piece. So,
And it's a capacity. Like we go to the gym or we, go work out and we build those muscles because we're building our capacity. Even, you go to the gym and you work on your aerobic capacity so that you can go do a 14-mile hike up a mountain if you want to. But it's a capacity that you're building. And we build that same thing with money. It's the capacity. Okay, can you hold a little bit? Okay, can you hold a little bit more while feeling safe? Can you receive a little bit more? And it for me at least, it was a gradual process of receiving a little more and feeling and holding that capacity and then building a little bit more and a little bit more.
yeah, because I think we have, this kind of striving, chasing, and, trying to hold on and get rather than receive the money is, something that we has become a fight. And in so doing, it has become kind of denial, right?
Hmm.
And we've turned it into something
Yeah.
incredibly stressed, and we pressure ourselves. And of course, there is the very real pressure of if I don't have money, I don't eat, I don't pay the bills, whatever it might, to whatever extreme it might be.
Right.
Um, so we create this pressure. And so I think what you're talking about is, our ability to build that capacity by learning to hold tension. And I emphasize the word hold because I realized years prior, I wasn't holding tension, I was carrying it.
Yes.
And then it becomes pressure, it becomes heavy, and we shrink underneath it, don't we? Like little
Yes.
rather than, oh, how can I rise up to receive it and grow
Yes.
into it? Because and many of us have been through burnouts and what have you, because we've learned that pressure and tension that is carried has fearful consequences.
Yes.
But yet when we hold it, that has very exciting consequences.
Yes. And as we build that capacity, we also build that internal safety.
Yeah.
And we take it from that external money. Do I have money in my bank account? And into the internal. Do I have everything I need right now?
Yeah.
Because even when my fridge has been empty and I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to eat, and there's $5 in my bank account, I center myself and I'm like, do I have everything I need right now? I'm like, I have a piece of fruit, I have a piece of protein, I have a piece of carb, I have everything I need right now. It may not be what I want it to look like, but I have everything I need right now.
Mm. Yeah. I remembered what I was going to say now. Thank you. So that safety piece of, yeah, at the beginning, giving everything away. And so I learned to feel safe without thousands in my bank account or even hundreds at that time. Um, And then living in the way that I do, traveling around as a cat sitter, I then learned the other aspect of security that we all have, which is bricks and mortar. And I'm not talking about shelter here. There's a difference. So I learned that, okay, I can feel safe without the traditional financial security. And then I learned to feel safe without the traditional um, bricks and mortar security. And then I fully opened and then started receiving
Yes.
and continuously receiving. And that was the game changer. How do I feel safe without these two illusions, essentially? How can I feel safe? And through that is the self-trust. So trusting to make the financial decisions, to make the right moves and choose the right strategies for my business. I think like what you were saying before with your human design, you've learned to kind of ride the wave and then go, okay, what do I need? And is this right for me?
Yes.
Oh, I knew today would be powerful. I knew today would be powerful.
Always.
So before I do the journal prompt and our closing for today, what else would you like to add and share with people, if anything?
Just remember this is a journey. Our
Mm,
nervous systems cannot handle going from nothing to everything the way that we think in our brain that we would like to.
mm,
It is a process. It's a working with the nervous system. It's a working with being in the now. Like I said a minute ago, it's what do I have right now? Do I have everything I need? Am I safe in this moment? Because
mm,
we like to look at the past. Okay, well, this has happened in the past, so that must be logic going to happen in the future. Or we
mm,
like to project ourselves into the future and we like, okay, I have this, all of these bills where if we can just bring ourselves back to this moment, do I have everything I need? Am I safe? And if you're worried about the future, like if you have nothing in your bank account, you're like, oh my gosh, what's the next little thing?
right.
Not the big chunk, but like break it down for your nervous system. And remember that it's a daily and when you're in those really hard low places, it's a moment by moment,
Mm,
breathing, pausing, brooding into what you know to be true of I am safe. I have everything I need and building that capacity and rewiring that brain. But
mm.
it takes time and it's easier with support
Yeah, yeah,
and community.
absolutely. Yeah, wonderful words of advice. Wonderful. And yeah, it is the power of now, isn't it?
It is.
The power of now, because all our power is in the moment. Oh, beautifully, beautifully described and shared. Thank you, darling. Love
Yeah,
our time together.
me too.
So, thank you everyone for listening or watching today, whatever platform you're on, to the Sovereign Leader podcast. We've loved having your company, walking this path with us, path of the priestess. Come find us on social media and you can find Joy at radicaljoyfulness.com and you can find me, Jen, at revitalizecoaching.co.uk. We'll see you next time.